few days after India's top indirect tax authority wrote to her employees about slowing tax collections, the direct tax authority has done exactly the same. In a letter accessed by CNBC-TV18, the head of the Central Board of Direct Taxes has written to his staff saying that he is disappointed with the face of tax collection so far and has asked them to step on the gas. The direct tax collection growth target for this year, remember, is about 15.3, but currently the growth of collections is 14.3. The CBDT chief called on his team to maximize revenues from some regions where it is currently low. Let's get this perspective going as well. Joining in now to discuss this further is Arun Giri from Taxsutra. Arun, first the CBEC chief and now the CBDT chief is raising the red flag. What could the impact be?
The worry is clearly showing, over the tax collections. It's not the first letter that's been written by the CBDT chairman. It must be remembered in the last few months. It's probably the second or third letter that's been written. So there's clearly a worry. A month or a few weeks ago, you had a letter saying that we need to do more surveys. Probably we need to step up efforts. Especially in cases where there are TDS defaults, and we need to plug all the revenue leakages. Well, now the CBDT, in a very stern letter to the principal CITs, has said that the growth in tax collections in the first 6-7 months is just not up to the mark. If you look at the figures, the actual all India growth rate is 14.36%, whereas the required rate is 15.3%. Mr. Chandra, in fact, I'm quoting him, he says it's quite evident that sufficient efforts have not been made in the area of revenue maximization in some regions. The CBDT chairman has also highlighted that only 25% of the annual target of revenue collection from arrears, the arrears demand of 71,500 crore has been achieved. And also against the target of the collection of 20% of the current demand, only 1.5% of the demand raised has been collected. So if you look at any of these scores, it's very clear that the CBDT is a bit worried over the collections. It must also be remembered that a lot of money running into lakhs of crores, at least a couple of lakhs of crores, are stuck in tax arrears. They are stuck in disputes at various stages. So it definitely is not easy for the tax department to recover them. But they have been given very stern message. They have said that the CBDT chairman has also noted in the letter that very few recovery-related surveys have been carried out and no property has been auctioned by the department for recovery. And therefore, the CBDT chairman has directed taking of all measures necessary to step up the collection, including very important, prosecution under Section 276(6) to C2 of the Income Tax Act in appropriate cases. So I think, I won't say that the CBDT chairman is giving a stick to the officers, but it's a clear message that you have 4 months left and the department needs to go all out to ensure that the tax collection targets are met. We need not overemphasize the fact that the CBDT has always taken the tax collection target seriously. Many a times, February and March are the months where the assessees face the heat.
Arun, I know it hasn't been that long since the CBEC also raised the red flag with its staff, but has there been any impact there? Since then to now, has there been any impact at least within the CBEC in terms of fast-tracking this?
If you look at CBEC, they are concerned with the indirect tax collection. And on the indirect tax collections, if you look at this year, it is the GST collection which has been a laggard. Now, we do not know what exactly was the government expectation on the GST front in the first 6 months. But if you look at last month or this month for sure, you had the collections coming in at a dip, at a 15 to 20% dip over the earlier months. So will that be a worry? The answer is yes. The whole problem is, you look at, let's see what the US is doing. The US is almost on the verge of slashing its corporate tax rate from 35% to 20%. And here you are in a situation whereby the tax collections are not up to the mark. The GST collections probably have also taken a dip. And therefore, does the Indian government have the leeway now to go in for a corporate tax reduction up to 25%, for which it had announced a roadmap a year and a half back? The Union Finance Minister announced a roadmap for reduction of corporate taxes to 25%. That has not materialized. So if the tax collections do not show up, how can the Finance Ministry, reduce the corporate tax rate, which is what all corporates want. In all the pre-budget meetings so far, in the last couple of weeks, corporates are saying, reduce the corporate tax rate. Where is that leeway for the Finance Ministry today?
Okay, Arun, thanks for taking us through that.